Hollow Knight is one of those games I'm glad I'd only recently discovered. If I played this game back in 2017 when it released, I wouldn't have appreciated it nearly as much as I do now. Since then, I've grown up enough to understand the complex beauty that is Team Cherry's very own Hollow Knight. In my Ori video, I'd mentioned that I liked it better than Hollow Knight. Now, I'd like to retract all negatives that I'd said, except maybe the part about Broken Vessel. They still suck mega balls. But at the time of writing that script, I'd only put like 10 hours into Hollow Knight. Compared to my 70 plus hours now, I was completely unaware of the vastness I was about to uncover. This game is huge. Like, it makes Minecraft Super Flat Worlds look puny. Okay, well, maybe not that big, but it's still quite large. In some video games, this is a major detriment more than it is a strength. The massive maps can easily be filled with empty space. In games like GTA 5, they seem to have space just for the sake of having it. There's no real purpose to it. While in Hollow Knight, the map actually feels overcrowded at times, which is ridiculous considering the average completion time is 40 hours. There are 15 very diverse biomes in Hollow Knight, which all give off a completely different vibe than another, which might even be its neighbor. However, the way that these biomes blend together is seamless and really gives the impression that you are entering a new part of the world. Hollow Knight doesn't play like other platformers do. What I mean by this is it's very open to interpretation. There aren't structured levels like in Mario or Banjo-Kazooie. It's an open world that leaves you with no instructions in the beginning, like a bird throwing the babies out of the nest. There's only one entry point to the kingdom from Dirtmouth, which is where you start. It's apparent that you need to go this way, but other than that, the game just hopes you can fly and gives you no instruction until you reach a specific area. However, it is obvious when you're making progress, and it rewards you by shoving a boss fight you definitely weren't prepared for right in your face. On that topic, I think it's time to tackle the area I'm most passionate about. It's the boss fights. Difficulty aside, are masterpieces. Usually the boss will have 3 stages with a multitude of attacks that change with each stage, or they just repeat the same old thing with a slightly greater sense of urgency. Every time you enter a boss fight, it makes your stomach drop, because if you mess up even once, it could be the very end of you. I guess the last thing to talk about is the art and music. I played this game right after finishing both Ori games, so I was quite spoiled. And I'll say this, the hand-drawn art in Hollow Knight works very well in its own way. I can't compare this to the CGI that Ori uses, but if it did use that CGI, that would take the magic right out of it. I don't know if you knew this, but Team Cherry consists of 3 guys. There were only 3 people that produced Hollow Knight, so for them to handcraft everything themselves is fascinating to me. About the music, it's some of the best I've heard. Christopher Larkin is an immensely talented composer. All the soundtracks fit the areas they were assigned to seamlessly. One of the pieces actually dragged me to tears. I know, right? Fury crying? What kind of world is this that we live in? Just the emotion coming out of this moment that I wept over was unprecedented. The music in Hollow Knight is truly something special, and I honestly think it will go down in history as some of the best video game music of all Wait, what is that? What is it the best you've heard? Jesus. Well, In conclusion, Hollow Knight is a fascinating piece of art that is so full of passion and ambition, you can really tell how much William Pellin and Ari Gibson care about this game. It truly is captivating. I found myself wasting 10 hours at a time making minutes of progress, but just having an absolute blast because of how bewitched this artificial world of Hallownest made me. Making progress felt so rewarding, and I couldn't help celebrating after defeating that big boss that had been kicking my ass for hours. What I'm trying to say here is this tiny little indie game is something so monumental, and its effect will resonate with me for the rest of my life. I'll be hard-pressed to find another game that dethrones Hollow Knight as the greatest Metroidvania of all time. Also, in an area in the Crystal Peaks, you can go through this doorway right here and see that Among Us is actually canon inside of the Hollow